What's good, man? It's the ASAP and Child Podcast with your one and only host, Glory Boy, here with the next special guest in the building. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much. I mean, I appreciate you for reaching out.
Of course.
Because, yeah, a lot of people does reach out, but it's hard to make decisions because not everybody just wants to be on the podcast, to speak about certain things that I really try to bring people to speak about. Some people just want to speak about just other random things, which I respect. That's the format of my podcast. Let's sit down and have a conversation. But you have something special that you do within the community of Buffalo, and you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna highlight that. But how you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
Feeling good?
Yeah.
You a little nervous?
Just a little.
Just a little. But yeah, so before we even start this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, tell the people who you are and what you do, and then we can get straight into it.
Okay. I'm Jayla Unique. I am a dancer and choreographer from Buffalo, New York. I've been dancing since I was about 5 years old. I trained at Ms. Barbara's dance studio, and then I went on to NCCC to dance and choreograph there. I was a student choreographer. And yeah, I'm also a dance and cheer coach. I coach competitive high school cheer. I coach competitive majorette, and I coach Little League football cheer. And I also am the assistant director for a summer camp, and I'm the program director of a recreational dance program.
Wow, that's Black history. But that's amazing. Like your resume is full already.
Yeah, it's
like that's how many pages of resume. Like you just like sometimes when people speak about their experiences in certain things, I look at them like, wow. But what really got you into dancing, though?
So my entire family is full of dancers. We all danced at Ms. Barbara's. So Ms. Barbara's is the first African-American owned dance studio in Western New York. Okay. She also happens to be my aunt. Her daughter is married to my uncle. So pretty much my entire family, from my mom to my uncles to my cousins, all trained at Ms. Barbara's. So naturally, when my mom had myself and my sister, we were placed at Ms. Barbara's also, and I kind of just took to it. It just kind of, something about it just stuck with me. I don't know. I'm not much of a talker. I'm kind of like a more reserved kind of person. So dance is kind of like another language for me. I'm able to speak freely without actually having to speak.
That is your peace, your comfort.
Yeah.
And also like throughout like dancing and everything. I know you started like dancing at Miss Barbara. That's how you say her name?
Miss Barbara's, yes.
Miss Barbara's dance studio. But like, did you always thought you'd be like a dance coach or anything like that?
Honestly, when I first started dancing, I hated it. Okay. I hated everything about it. I did not like how hard she was on me because being, related to a dance studio owner, they're going to be hard on everybody, but they're going to be harder on you because once people know that, okay, your aunt is the owner, you have to be stellar. Like, you have to be up there with everybody.
Yes.
So
your standard is high.
Yeah, it definitely adds a lot of pressure. But once I started really, like, looking at it less as being, like, yelled at or talked down to, and I really realized, like, okay, she's speaking to me this way because she sees that I can really, like, get to a point where she wants me to be. So I kind of just was like, okay, let me, stick this out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when you do have that person that from your family that's doing something, they always want you to set the high standard because, there's people around you. It's gonna make them look bad if they're the coach and
and their niece is the worst person.
This is the worst person. Exactly. So shout out to her because she actually got you to where you are right now.
Yes,
100%. She kind of like gave you that push.
Yeah.
That helped you build that discipline. Now you're a coach, helping other young people.
Yes, definitely.
But like also, have you always lived in Buffalo or?
Yes. Okay. Yep. Born and bred. I grew up on the east side of Buffalo on Front Street. Okay. I lived on Front Street my entire life. Anybody that knows me knows that's where I grew up at.
That's your hood.
That's where my family is. I have cousins up and down Front Street from my mom's side of the family to my dad's side of the family. I always joke that one half of French is my mom's side and the other half of French is my dad's side. Right. So I grew up, born and raised in Buffalo. And dance also is a big part of my family because my uncle, he was killed when he was 15 on a metro bus. That's my grandmother's son. And he was a dancer. And dance was his everything. He used to host talent shows at school, talent shows on the block. Him and my uncles had a dance group, and the name was insane work. But so when he was killed, it kind of like ripped a piece of him from my family, and I think that's why everybody is so supportive of my dancing, because it kind of gives them that, you know, piece of him back, because dance was his everything. Like if you read the news articles about him and like the way that my mom and my grandmother spoke about him, dance is mentioned 24/7. And actually, when they did a memorial for him at his school, they performed one of his dances at the memorial, and it was a dance that he choreographed because he just loved to choreograph dances. Wow. So he was obsessed with it, and so
he was that young in choreography. I mean, doing choreographies and
yeah.
wow,
He was very young doing choreography. He was 15 years old, so he was probably about like 12, 13 while he was choreographing talent shows and putting together like block party dance parties. And so that kind of like knowing that part of my grandmother's life is like, you know, gone, I'm happy that I can kind of give her like a piece of that back.
Man, shout out to him, to him, because you know it's crazy because within our communities. A lot of our brothers and sisters lose their lives at a young age.
Yeah.
And when we start seeing ourselves reaching like in the 20s and all the above, we have to thank God.
Yes.
You know, because not everybody in our community really make it to that point. And it's not like they die off at just anything.
Yeah.
It's like they get killed.
Yeah. You know, it's usually the same thing. So yeah.
Crazy, man. I hope that changes, because there's a lot of amazing people in the world that reach to their full potential, because you don't know where he will be. Maybe he will be
somewhere in the stars, like
feel
stellar,
me, like like doing something, dancing at the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
For Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my goals. Like that's one of my top goals as a choreographer, is to choreograph the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't know what it is about the Super Bowl halftime show. I just love the simplicity of it, because you can do so much in so little time, and that's like my thing, like the lights and the, you know, the props, but mostly just the choreography. Like I feel like people don't pay a lot of attention to the dancing during the Super Bowl, but if you really go back and like watch the Super Bowl, like the dancers are insane and the choreographers are like mind blowing to me.
Yeah,
like,
and you know the person that actually choreographed Kendrick Lamar's performances, she was a woman, black woman.
Yes, love
and she
her.
did an amazing job.
Yes, that's a LA icon when it comes to dance. Yes, wow, she's been in the game for a while. Like,
man, that's my first time actually.
When it comes to any South Coast, like South Coast, Lord, West Coast, like music videos, like if you really see like West Coast dancing,
so it's her. Like
9 times out of 10, it's her, and she's been in the game for a while. And I actually was just watching a video with her talking about that earlier, on how long she's been in the game and how many people don't realize that it's her in videos and choreographing and all that other stuff. So, yeah, she's definitely top of the list.
Hey, big shout out to her, man. Keep going, Black Queen. You know, keep doing your thing. Yes. But yes, so now let's go back to you. So how did like everything start for you? To dancing in high school to becoming a coach.
Gotcha. So once I graduated from high school, during high school I kind of took a little break from dance just because I was doing a lot of sports. I was cheering, I was playing volleyball, I was running track. Anything that my mom could put me in, I was in. I kind of took a little break from dance just because it became very overwhelming for me to do everything at once. So I picked it back up my senior year of high school, and honestly, it was like I never left. It was really like riding a bike. Once I graduated from high school and I got to college, that's when I was like, okay, I need to take this seriously, because I did my first show with the Tonson Dance Company, which was a dance company at CCC. And for that company, it's also a class. So you have to choreograph your own piece. You have to design your own lighting designs. You have to do your own costumes. You have to do your own props. It basically taught you the whole 9 yards of like dance production in theater. So that kind of like sparked everything for me. Then in 2019, I started working at Buffalo All-Star Extreme. And when I first got hired there, I actually was the after-school majorette coach at Health Sciences Charter School, and then I started working the front desk. Once I started working in the front desk, I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to really like take the space that I'm in and use it. So I picked a couple dancers from the majorette team, and I just started training them technicality-wise, because with majorette is not so much technique-based. Majorette is like a combination of hip-hop and jazz, so it's very like aggressive, very hard-hitting. Like they don't really think about pointed feet, straight knees, you know, stuff like that. So I took some dancers that I felt would be able to pick that up pretty quickly, and I just started training them, and then I came up with the idea of a sunflower project, and it was born in
Let's talk about the sunflower project. So what is for some people that don't know it? I myself don't know it.
Okay.
So tell us about it.
So, a Sunflower Project is my dance production label. So, I basically produce dance productions, dance videos, dance projects, anything relating to dance. It's all my choreography is through a Sunflower Project. So my first show, I did a Sunflower Project dance showcase where different choreographers from Niagara Falls, Buffalo, just the Western New York area were able to come and showcase their choreography, and the winner was given a $500 cash prize. So that was my first show, and then I moved on to video production. So I did House Party, which was based off of the movie House Party, and it was a party setting, and that was during COVID. So everybody in the video has on masks. Like, everybody has on masks. The DJ had on the mask. All the party goers had on masks. The dancers had on masks. But I honestly was very scared to dance with the mask on because, sometimes masks can be very restricting, but they took it and they ran with it. And then last winter, I did a dance production based off of The Wiz at Shay's 710 Theater, which is like the little sister of Shay's Theater. And that show did really well. There's a capacity in that building of about 600. We sold about 327 tickets, so we did really well for that show.
Shoot, that's amazing. Yeah. For first show, you said 300 tickets?
Oh, I was watching my phone like, oh, my God, these tickets are selling out. Like, what's happening? And so I was very proud of not only myself but my dancers and my assistant choreographer, who is Selena. She's a saint. I wouldn't be able to do anything without her. But, Sunflower Project has just been growing. I've done a couple classes, contemporary classes, jazz classes, hip-hop classes. I've done some combination classes with other dancers and choreographers in Buffalo. We'll do like a 2-for-1 sale. Like, if you buy both classes, you can do one for free or something like that. So, yeah.
Man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And also just being able to, build that brand and continue to, go stronger and stronger. It's an incredible thing to see because not everybody have resilience.
Yeah.
And some people literally can start something and be like, damn, like it's not going nowhere that fast.
Yes.
But you continue to push. And now, so let's talk, because right now you're actually about to go, after this interview, you're going to be going to a dance competition.
A cheer competition. Yes.
Cheer competition.
Yeah.
So, like, how did you put yourself in between the two? Like dancing and cheer?
So I did both growing up. So the balance is kind of natural for me to be able to change over because I did both growing up. I cheered as long as I danced. So it honestly just wasn't that difficult for me to, do the switch over. I can separate my dance training and my cheer training because it was two different trainings. I was trained by one coach in cheer and by another coach in dance, but it also came with the training from my boss, Ayana. She trained me to a T to be able to do whatever she needed me to do at any necessary point. So if she needed me to cover an all-star practice, I can cover an all-star practice. If she needs me to cover a dance practice, I can cover a dance practice. So she, ensured that wherever I need Jayla to go, she'll be able to handle it.
She got it.
Yeah. So,
she got it.
So, yeah. So, yeah, that's just.
But, yeah, and also I want to ask you, because I know you're a coach right now. You're coaching, like, young kids that some kids may even be the same height as you.
Yes, some of them are taller than me.
Some of them are tall,
Some of them are taller than me.
But, like, how do you kind of, like, manage to, balance everything out, talk to them, and just be a leader? Because, a lot of those kids, like, we was actually having a conversation before this where, like, there's a lot of young kids today that really, they will kind of go hand in hand with you. Like, they don't no respect or anything. But how do you manage to, keep everything structured?
I definitely kind of just set that boundary, like, I'm here for you. And, like, whatever you need to talk about, we can talk about. But please keep in mind that I am your coach. At the end of the day, I am an adult, you're a child. So I feel like once I set that boundary for my kids and they understand that I'm serious about that boundary, it makes the respect line much easier. I usually don't really deal with too many disrespectful kids just because I never give off disrespectful coach. Like, I'm not unnecessarily mean or I'm not, doing too much cursing or anything like that. I talk to them like they're people because at the end of the day, regardless of their age, they're people. And I do the same with my 4-year-olds as I do with my 16-year-olds. I don't baby the babies. You're a baby, yes. and I love you and you're cute and I'll give you a hug at the end of class, but while we're in class, this is class and you need to understand that. And if you can't understand that, you got to find something else. So, and I make that clear to my kids, like, I love you and I want you here, but I don't need you to be here if you're not going to respect me. Like, there's a million other kids out there who would snatch your spot in a heartbeat just simply because you couldn't be respectful. So, yeah.
Have you ever made a decision like where you kicked somebody out the team?
Every season.
Every season?
Yes.
What did they do, if you don't mind sharing?
So I have a contract in place with my kids at the beginning of the season with my standards. When you're a cheerleader, you represent me. And not only do you represent me, you represent Buffalo All-Star Extreme, and you represent Health Science Charter School. So you'll be at the best of your best at all times while you're on my team. One of my rules is grades. You need to be passing. You are a student athlete. Student comes first. If you aren't passing your classes, how are you going to cheer for a school that you're failing at?
Right.
That makes no sense. So I definitely, if they have a thing at their school called academic probation, if you are on academic probation twice, you're done.
You're done.
You're done. Because it gets to a point where they give them the opportunity to raise the grades. You have study table after school. I have laptops available at the gym. So if you're not applying yourself, that just goes to show me that if you can't apply yourself at school, you're not going to apply yourself here.
Yeah.
So, you're taking a spot away from somebody who didn't make it at tryouts, who would have been, working as hard as they could to maintain their spot. You don't appreciate your spot, so I'm going to give it to somebody else.
I respect that because some people do really get comfortable once they get that spot.
Yes.
I was once a student athlete, so I played D1 at Canisius College. And I really understand what you're saying. It's your grades is everything.
Everything.
No matter if you're in the sport team, no matter if you're the best player.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, that coach will make sure that your grades is at the top of, the standard. Like, you have to be passing to participate because it makes them look bad. Plus, it can affect your funding too. You know, let me say someone trying to invest in your business and invest in your coaching and your teams. And then they come across and they see the grades, they're going to say, like, these kids look like they don't care.
It looks like you care more about the sport than you do about your athletes. And
exactly.
I just can't do that. I want them to have the best. I want their future to be bright. Even if they don't continue to dance after they graduate from high school or they don't continue to cheer after they graduate from high school, I want you to be able to apply yourself still with the things that I taught you during cheer. So I taught you to be on time to practice. Now I know that you've learned that you need to be on time to work, be on time to class, do what you got to do. So I try to instill those little skills in them while still implementing cheer, so that way it looks like it's just for cheer. But no, I'm really sending you into life with these skills. And I still have like old students. I've been coaching since I was 19. I'm 26 now. So I have students sometimes who are 21, 22 years old now, and they'll see me like out and about, and they'll be like, Coach Jayla. And I'm like, you graduated 3 years ago. Why are you still calling me Coach Jayla? But in my mind, it's the respect that, I set. It's that boundary that I set for them, so they're going to respect me forever. And regardless of how old they are, I'm always going to be Coach Jayla because that's how they know me. That's my coach, regardless of if I'm in high school or
you
not.
Tell them, like, my name is Coach Jayla.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not Jayla.
And you still have the kids that catch themselves, and they be like, Jayla. And I'm like,
hey,
who?
Respect yourself now.
I'm like, you're missing a word. And like, oh, sorry, Coach Jayla. And I'm like, hey, girl, what's up?
Yeah, I feel you. It's always like that. You know what's crazy? I also coach soccer.
Really?
Yeah, I coach little kids.
Really?
And I get you. It's amazing. It's amazing, like, being able to coach and because I play soccer in college. And I played semi-pro and all of that. So like playing and coaching little kids and seeing them and just trying to help them, grow as well. So because I was there once.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling.
It is.
It's really like, I don't know, it's priceless,
It
Sometimes
is.
I don't even look at the money that they pay me. I look at that.
It's
the
them.
impact.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%. And coaching my little kids, I definitely understand that because, like,
Right.
I coach my teenagers so, like, strict because they're teenagers. They're at the prime of their life where they're really learning real life lessons. Whereas to my 4 and 5 year olds, I'm still pretty strict on them. Like, they get push-ups as a punishment just like the teenagers. They do 250 jumping jacks as a warm-up. Like, I still train them as such, but just the look in their eyes when they see me and they're excited when they walk through the door. And every day after class, I always be like, okay, I love you, bye. They're like, I love you too, Coach Jayla. And they always have to give me a hug after class. And my parents see that, and that's why they continue to bring their kids back because they're like, wow, my kid really, like, loves this lady. Like, they're at home 24/7, Coach Jayla this, Coach Jayla that. And I'm like,
You know, one thing I realized, parents really love bringing their kids to competitions.
Yes.
And we really like that in our communities because a lot of our parents are, pretty much just working hard,
Yeah.
trying to make a living for their families.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes some kids don't get to have that opportunity.
100%.
But like, what do you do as a person that have been doing this for a few years? Like, what do you do to kind of like help those in need?
Mhm. So with a sunflower project, everything is free. With a sunflower project, we do everything fundraising wise. So no funding comes from the parents or the kids. They don't pay for anything. We do everything through fundraisers, and any like leftover amounts or anything like that, I just handle myself, because the main point of a sunflower project is to build their resumes. I want these kids to be able to, if they do decide to go into the professional world, to go into the professional world ready. Like, for example, I have a 9-year-old dancer who I've been training since she was about 4, I want to say. And she's been in every single show that I've done. Like, every show that I've done, she's had a role. And right now, she's currently my dance captain for our upcoming show, which is A Hard Knock Life, which is a dance production based on the 2014 movie version of Annie. So her resume is stacked, and when she graduates high school, I have not one doubt in my mind that she's going to be a professional dancer.
Wow, she gonna be on those big stage.
Yes, like, it's her life.
You know, Sierra was looking for dancers.
Yes, and she's actually in that competition.
Stop
Yes.
lying.
Yes, I have a couple kids actually.
They made it
that
into that.
competition. Yes, she's in the top 20 right now. So
Wow.
make sure you go vote for my girl.
Yeah, you feel
Yes.
me? But I don't like the voting system, the way they kind of
Yes,
set it up. It's like
yes.
it takes you to Facebook.
Yeah.
Not everybody has Facebook.
Yeah, and I know it's a way to like vote without having Facebook. I think you just have to go directly through the website.
Okay.
I'll try to figure it out, but I've just been voting through Facebook because I have Facebook.
Yeah, because sometimes it takes me to that Facebook link. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like, I click on there and say log in. I try to log in. I don't even know my Facebook password.
Me either, to be honest with you. I made it in 2012.
Yeah, like it's been logged onto your phone for a
Yeah,
very
so
long time.
long, yeah.
So there's nothing you can do. But yeah, and also, so now let's talk about just, few things you've learned as a leader.
Okay.
What are some leadership skills that you've implemented amongst yourself, your lifestyle, and everything?
Just having patience. Like, you have to be patient. You have to.
Right.
Just because things don't happen on your time. Like, they don't. No matter how much you want them to, no matter how much you try to force it to happen on your time, things just don't happen on your time. They happen when they're supposed to. So patience has definitely been, like, my number one, like, balance. Just because, like, dealing with kids, it's not an easy task, like, at all. You have so many different personalities, so many different age groups, so many different emotions in, like, one room, and your goal is to get them to all do the same thing. So it's like,
Right.
if you're quick-tempered, if you really can't, deal with some days one cheerleader might come in a great mood, and the next day she might come in crying. If you can't, use your patience in that situation, it's not going to work out for you.
Yeah, because, no, you're right. Patience is key.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have patience, everything is a chaos. It's chaos. For you.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything is chaos, but that's a really great skill to have. But like, do you also implement that on your kids? Do you teach them like patience is everything? Like,
Yes, yeah.
because some kids are very like outgoing.
I need it now.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I definitely try to teach them to also have patience, and not even just patience with like a situation, but patience with themselves. Like, give yourself time. You're 15. You don't have to rush to grow up. You don't have to rush to have all the money in the world in your pocket. You don't, you have time to really like build yourself as a person before you try to like attack those goals.
Yeah.
You build up to them, and then once you reach your goal, then you're like, all right, what's next?
Yeah,
Just be patient.
They got
take your
so
time.
much time. I wish I could go back.
Yeah, same.
Because sometimes when I look at time, I'm like, damn, man, like I remember when I used to sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Like
and I'm lucky if I get about 6 hours.
even college, as a freshman to sophomore year, you used to sleep like a baby.
Yes, I did.
Like you finish what you have to do. You don't have to worry about no bills, nothing.
Nothing at all.
And just rest.
And it made it easier because I went to NCCC, so the school is literally one pathway away from the dorms. Like, you just walk right across the street and you're at school.
You go to
My
sleep.
class starts in 5 minutes. I'm getting up 5 minutes before class starts.
You feel me? And then you go. Dining hall food is ready.
Yes,
everything.
You gotta
is
walk
good.
through the dining hall to get to class.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, come on, God. Like, we just gotta go, man. Like, you're not gonna give us a little break.
Yeah.
But it's also the beauty of life. Also, is just being busy. And we were actually talking about that.
Yeah.
How we kind of discuss how like you sometimes sleep with just naps.
Yeah.
Like you barely sleep.
Yeah.
But let's talk about self management, self care,
Yeah.
and
It's
time
definitely-
management. Like,
Yeah.
how do you? Because I know sleep is very important,
Hmm.
but like, how do you keep yourself? In the mean, how do you keep yourself? Strong throughout like your day.
Honestly, I would definitely give that to my mom. Like
Okay.
100%. Like when all else fails, I'm calling my mom. Like it doesn't matter what the situation is. I can literally be like losing my mind. I'm calling my mom. She definitely is like my backbone 100% because for like most of my life, she's all I had. So it's like she definitely keeps me in that place where she's like, okay, Jayla, you need to take a break. Okay, Jayla, you need to sleep. Okay, Jayla, you did this. Now relax. Like, so honestly, without her, I would just be like a train that never stops. And she definitely makes me, pause the brakes. So yeah.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for her, I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to Mama,
Yeah,
man.
shout out to Tamika. We love you.
Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Because that's another thing I like to tell people is like I appreciate, cherish and appreciate your parents while they're still here.
Hmm.
Because even though you have the worst relationship together,
Yeah.
you can still find a way to
To make it happen.
to
Yeah,
make it
definitely.
happen because
Yeah.
those are like at the end of the day, those are the people that you will always have in the back of your
Yeah, in the
head.
back of your head, yeah.
Like I'm going through this,
Yeah.
mom, dad, like
Yeah, and I've definitely had to teach myself that when it comes to like my dad, like just forgiving him in general for like things that we went through when I was younger and him not really being around much. But now we're rebuilding our relationship as like an adult. But I really had to like learn him. I had to get to know him because I really didn't. So it was like,
Right.
and he also had to get to know me. And so once we got over that hump of okay, this is who I am and this is who you are, our relationship has been pretty good since then. So I'm glad I was able to like repair that and continue to repair it because it's not perfect and I
Your
don't
life
expect
is
it to
too
be perfect, but yeah, it's too short. And it really took me to realize that because I just lost my uncle recently on my dad's side of the family. So just being at the service and like I don't really spend much time around my dad's side of the family, so it's like being there kind of made me feel like okay, I need to really apply myself more to come around.
Yeah.
But it also can't all be on me because like we discussed, I'm chicken with its head cut off, always running around. So
right. No, understandable, And another thing like that I like to think like just family is everything. And some people say family is not always gonna be blood. Which I totally understand.
100%.
But blood gonna always be thicker than water.
It is. It is.
At the end of the day. So like you always have to make sure you build those bonds.
Yeah.
You have the bad blood amongst each other, but once they leave this world, you're gonna regret not forgiving them.
100%. Yeah.
Or them not forgiving you.
Yeah, and I see that a lot, like especially with like working with kids today, with everything that they have like going on. Like, I can't explain to you how many kids I've had to like rub on the back because they're grieving and like they're grieving friends, like.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, y'all shouldn't have to go through this, but it's like they do. And some of these kids, like their friends go and they're like, well, Coach Jayla, we got into an argument before it happened. And I'm like, listen, you have to understand that you didn't know. They didn't know. It's okay. Like, it's okay. It is. It's okay.
But like, how do you keep that family bond amongst your students?
So my girls are just honestly like they mesh together so well.
Okay.
Like when I'm picking cheerleaders, I don't always only look at their score sheets. Like I really sit down and I like talk to their principal. Okay, how's their previous grades? How is their previous behavior? Do they have like a tendency to have a lot of like drama or a lot of fights or anything like that? And that also helps me make my decision because I don't want someone to come on the team and they mess up the bond, if that makes sense. Like,
right.
Because my girls, they're very close. They've all been cheering together.
I mean,
since
there's
they were
always that one
freshmen.
person.
Yeah, it definitely is always one person. But I feel like when girls join my team, they have like a certain mindset of I'm gonna come on the cheer team and I'm gonna run it, and I'm
Right.
just like, no, boo. Only person that runs this team is me.
Yeah,
It's me.
I'm the captain.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only person that runs this team is me.
But like, do
only.
you allow them also to lead? Because me as a coach, coaching soccer, sometimes I push myself back.
Yeah.
And I let
Yes,
maybe a
100%.
student take control of the practice.
Yeah, I have 4 captains. So because they are a game day team and a competitive team, I have competition team captains and I have game day captains, and then I have 1 overall team captain.
Okay.
So my game day captains, they've all been cheering with me since they were freshmen. 3 of them are juniors and 1 is a senior this year. We actually just celebrated her senior night last night. So I definitely let them lead their team. I tell them all the time, get your team together. Like I'm second, or like if I teach something, I tell them after I teach this, don't ask me. Ask
that
your
makes
captains.
your job easy.
Yes, it does.
You know, it gives you that
yeah.
time to actually sit back and see what you have taught them in terms of like the leadership skills and so many more amazing things. And also like in terms of like mental health, because I know there's kids that go through stuff at home, but like how do you comfort them and make sure that they're okay? Let me say a kid was to miss practice because they're dealing with something back home. Like, how do you, communicate with them?
I just kind of make myself available. I don't really force them to talk if they don't want to, because with teenagers, you can't force them to do something that they don't want. The more you push, the more they're going to, back off. Yeah. So I just make myself available. Hey, are you okay? No, not really. Do you feel like talking about it? No, not really. Okay, you have my phone number. Call me later when you get home if you feel like talking about it. And 9 times out of 10, probably around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'll get a phone call. And
what if they don't call you? Do you reach out?
Oh yeah, I call them.
Okay.
If I don't talk to you, if you don't call me, I'm gonna call you at least by the end of the day. And sometimes if they don't answer the phone, I send them a text like, "Hey, I love you. Let me know if you need anything." And then sometimes they reach back out. Sometimes they don't, because sometimes they really just need that time and that space. And I don't want to be overbearing because we're human. Sometimes we just need a minute to kind of like process what we're going through, and I can only imagine having to do that and be a teenager. Like, you're a child at the end of the day, so your emotions are everywhere. So it's just like sometimes I just kind of like, all right, she looked like she's about to cuss me out, I'm gonna leave you alone. And then other times they come to me and they be like, Coach Jayla, I really need to talk to you about this. And I'm like, okay, let's step into the other room and let's have a conversation. And I try to give them the best advice that I can possibly give them. And I tell my kids all the time, don't ask me a question if you don't want me to tell you the truth, because I'm always going to be honest with you, because I feel like honesty is the best policy. If I don't tell you the truth, nobody is, because now you're going to go around life, with this half truth or this half solution, and you're still going to have the same problem. So they know if you're coming to me, you really want a solution to your problem, and I'm going to be honest with you the best way that I know how. And so.
Are all your kids black?
Yes, they are.
Okay, that's good too, because then they're more comfortable to come to you.
Yes,
they understand. Okay, she looks like me. She, she have lived maybe a life similar to mine that I'm living right now as a young kid. So let me go to her.
Yes, and
that makes a huge difference.
Also, being a dancer and a former cheerleader also helps them, come to me, because I tell them all the time, like, I've been in your position. I've been getting yelled at. I've been having to do warm-ups that I don't want to do. I've been there, and I tell them all the time, anything that you've done, I've done 10 times over. Like, you can't hide anything from me. You can't be sneaky. You can't lie to me.
And you're still doing it.
Yeah, so it's like I can't tell y'all nothing else but what I've experienced. And so I try to, let them know, like, I've been there. I get it. Trust me, I do. I've had to do the 1,000,001 jumping jacks. I've had to overstretch my leg, and I've had to, deal with the pain and the aches and I don't feel like it today, or I got to dance through it because I'm sick, or I got to, show up. So it makes it easier for them to talk to me, because they know, like, Coach Jayla has been through this. She's been here before. So
yeah, the experience sets a different tone, different standard to everything. But so I like to finish out with my guests, because we're getting closer to the end, because I know you have to go as well. So like, what message would you give to the young kids, that's growing up doing dance and looking forward to becoming coaches as well in the future? What do you have for them?
I would just say, take your time. Go through your training. Every possible class that you can take it. Any possible style that you can learn it. So that way when you go to the auditions and they're like, oh, can you do tap? Yes, I can. Can you do point? Yes, I can. you can pull the shoes out your bag and make sure they're brown, match your skin tone. But yeah, I would just say, just keep going. Don't let anybody hinder your process. You don't have to live up to anybody's expectations but yours. So
Most definitely. Yo, leave to your own expectation. Don't look at other people. Just live your life.
yes,
But yeah, thank you so much.
thank
It was
you.
it was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Learned a lot about your program.
Yeah.
Because I just had like few questions, but you kind of like gave us like in full detail, and I really like that because then like parents who are gonna watch this, man, she said her program is funded, it's free,
Yes.
so get your kids out there.
Yes. Look out for our next audition.
Right.
Look out for our
How
show.
often do you guys get to have auditions though?
I do a show every year. So
Okay.
we had auditions for the show that we're currently rehearsing for right now in November. And
Okay.
we've been rehearsing since November, and our show is in May. So,
Okay.
long time.
Yeah. Man.
Long time, yeah.
I mean, that's dance practice are not easy.
yes, not at all.
Right.
And we practice for about 5 hours every Sunday.
Okay, guys,
So, yeah.
I can't do that. But yeah, thank you once again.
Thank you so
It's a
much.
pleasure having you here. And also, just to finish up, what is your handle, like Instagram?
It's at @a_sunflower_project.
Okay, yeah, I heard that. _sunflower
Underscore
project.
Yes.
All right, thank you, man. This is East Even Child Podcast. Like I said before, don't forget to like, comment, share this video, and remember, man, I will always bring guests that have something amazing to say and bring to the community. Let's go.